Hello, sir.
Bolivar's Board of Aldermen shall come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Price. Here. Ballard.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Sagaster.
Here.
Raines. She not zoomed in? Neal.
It's live and going.
Present. Wilson.
Present.
With 6 present, we have a quorum. Stand in for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm entertaining a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have adopted the motion. I'm entertaining a motion for the first reading of Bill number 2025-49.
First reading. Second.
Counselor?
This is Bill number 2025-49, ordinance number 4071, an ordinance granting to Southwest Electric Cooperative, its successors and assigns, the right of providing an electrical utility system to serve the city of Bolivar, Missouri, and its inhabitants, and the right to construct, maintain, and operate a system of electrical facilities in, upon, across, along, and under the highways, streets, avenues, roads, alleys, lanes, ways, utility easements, parkways, and other public grounds of the city of Bolivar, Missouri.
Okay, discussion? Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. I had a couple constituents ask me about this, and I have a couple questions. Mr. Mayor, I guess a question for you.
Brian, use your microphone.
Sorry. Normally I'm pretty loud, but Mr. Mayor, question for you. With your previous positions, with your connections with Liberty, with that kind of area, what is your take on this bill? I know you've, up at the state, you've had, lobbyists with different companies and Liberty and different meetings that I think you've mentioned you've had with Liberty. What is your take on this bill with Southwest?
Well, of course, I am familiar. I have the lobbyist who represent them in Jefferson City happens to be a friend, and we've corresponded about this. I don't know that it needs to be especially under any other circumstances. This, of course, would just be housekeeping. But under the present circumstances, it becomes a major issue about how we translate this to the public. And I think that I discussed this with Mr. Elford yesterday. We were wondering about what we should be saying about this, and my particular response, and we need to, certainly worth discussing, is that the more succinct and direct and maybe even brief explanation, as always, the longer you explain something, the more confused it gets. So one of the things that we thought we would present or for discussion was something along the order of Southwest has long had a footprint in the city, and because of that, we are required to periodically renew their license or their franchise, and that presently Southwest has no plans for expanded service in the city.
I guess I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you.
No.
What I keep hearing in the back of my head is if you ask the right questions, the answer will come.
Yes.
And so my question is to you as the mayor of Bolivar. Do you support this bill for under forward to the constituents?
I do. I think it, again, I think in under other circumstances, this would be housekeeping. But obviously, it's a very contentious subject and issue. And my feeling is that it's important that we move forward with it, and it's also important that we communicate it as succinctly and even briefly as we can, even though brevity will probably not last all that much when people start asking. But I think that that's not a dictate, obviously. It's just a matter of discussion, and so I would open it up for discussion what people, how people think this would should go forward, and how it should be communicated. Mr. Ross?
So, of course, this is something I've been pretty passionate about for a couple of years, or, a while now. One thing that is, and I don't want to mislead constituents, with this, like even at the rate case hearing, when the Office of Public Counsel was talking about, anybody can petition the PSC if there's multiple providers to switch, providers, as long as it's not based on rates, it's based off service, things like that. Well, obviously Southwest has a footprint in town, but they don't have a franchise agreement. So, the first step of potentially doing anything, down the road, future, whatever, would be getting that franchise agreement in place. So, I think this is a great first step. And, Southwest, I think there's at least one business I know that they provide to. There's a neighborhood in town I know they provide to. So, to your point, we probably should have done this a long time ago, having something in place with Southwest. But, I'm excited that it could open up potentials, in the future, depending on, how things go with Southwest being inside the city. So, that's the thing, is it is some housekeeping, but it also, there is some potential, I think, for down the road that even the Office of Public Counsel kind of laid out at the rate case hearing, that we could have options, which is always going to be good. So
I think that is certainly true, but the uncertainties of this are enormous, and the volatility of this under the circumstances are also enormous. And it's my particular feeling that we need to be extremely cautious about what the possibilities are, because as we know better than anyone, having since we're dealing with this, that this is the future on this is just completely unknown. And I think that it would be a misservice to hint that there are possibilities for changes in the future.
I think, not to be rude, but the constituents came in masses here when Liberty came and talked about their problems. They came in masses to different meetings about, hey, we want to change, and it's our job as aldermen to listen to our constituents and do what they ask us to do. And I think this is one of the ways that we can show that, hey, we're listening to our constituents because they want to change.
Well, and that is is obviously a very legitimate point. I wouldn't argue with that at all. But my point is for us that our responsibility is to not only to listen to that, but also be realistic. And that, and I don't mean that we should, that there's a lot going on here, and we are at work on it, and that I think that it's probably the unanimous vision and purpose or its intent of the board. If we had the power to move this along, we would, and I think we are. But the uncertainties of it are enormous, and I think to me it's a disservice to, even though I think it's a disservice at this point in the process to offer the idea that we are moving in that direction. And that's probably not, maybe that's not presented as clearly as I want. I think we need to.
So what I would say, the moving in that direction part of that, like, I don't want to make any promises to anybody that, hey, by doing this, we've just waved a magic wand and all of our issues are going to be, resolved. Because even if we did have a magic wand, the issues that we have, it's such a time-consuming process. But to me, getting this franchise agreement with Southwest, I think it's a step in the right direction. So, there is movement, because there hasn't been any movement, in years. This is at least a step in the right direction. Does it solve everybody's issues? We live in a society where people want instant answers, instant, things to be taken care of. And I know that when I'm talking with people, hey, we're working on it. And I think that's the message that we need to send is we're still working on it. There's not a clear answer, because we don't know, because I think if the law read, the city council of Bolivar could make that decision today, and I think, we could definitely answer that. But you've got a lot of other entities in place and regulations and things like that in place, that this is a step of many that kind of gets us in, potentially going in that right direction. Do I think that we need to paint the picture of, hey, this solves all of our issues? It does. It really doesn't. But do I think that, hey, it's a step that we haven't taken in years and years that needs to be taken before we could potentially, get some answers? Yeah. I think that's true. Now, the answers may not be, answers that we like or that our constituents like, but, it's something that other agencies and regulators have to be involved in that. But yeah, so I don't necessarily think that it's just something that isn't going to kind of hopefully get us going down that right direction. it's at least a kickoff to go to that direction, in my opinion. So, and we may go down that path and find out that there's nothing, not a whole lot we can do, but at least we have to explore all options, because like Brian said, we owe that to our constituents. I mean, it's one that we could ask everybody up here on the board, what's the biggest issue, in our community right now, and I will tell you that it's Liberty Utilities. I see it every day. I had a conversation with somebody on a real estate transaction last night. That was the first thing they asked. Is it Southwest or Liberty? Well, I've got some lots on Liberty and some lots on, hey, send me the lots on Southwest first, type deal. So it is a question that, it's affecting our community, and, it's something that we definitely need to address, and I think this helps us start the conversation to get that addressed. So,
Mr. Wilson, I hope you don't think that I'm opposing your point of view. I think it's absolutely legitimate. I think Mr. Ross's points are well taken as well. I think it all has to do with the nuances of the messaging. That we are either trying to create a more favorable environment in the future, but not dangling out a false promise. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how or how we do that. I don't know that a message, a formal message, is necessary. I suspect it will be individual, that we'll each get inquiries. There were people who pay attention to this and wonder about it, and it will probably be, we can discuss this here, but each of you will have your own point of view how to take it. But I think that to me that underneath it all, I think we need to be extremely careful about dangling false promises, and how we go about that will probably be up to each of us, about how we want to cast that. And maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you feel like this is the first step towards some major changes. My personal, it is, and it's just my personal. It's not trying to make it an official declaration. Is that we do need to be careful about false promises.
I don't think we're making false promises. I think we're giving options to, different options to different scenarios. I think this board is very proactive instead of reactive. We listen to our constituents. We try to figure out what's the best way that we can provide a service to our community and look forward and not just stick in the mud and stay where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Oliver and I had discussed. I told you about what we had thought the message ought to be, but I'm not. I mean, we haven't decided. I don't know if we are going to decide or we need to decide that it actually is that our communications director be directed to send out a message. I don't know if that's even necessary, but we thought a discussion of this. Do we have something of a consensus about how we want this presented to our constituents as the answers come? And I think each of you will probably have your take and have the means and methods and nuances of how you speak to this. But
correct me if I'm wrong. We can educate. We can't force our opinion on people. We can educate on what we're introducing to the people. Correct? Am I wrong?
yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I think it's important to remember a couple things. One is all that's on the agenda for us today is, do we put this on the ballot? That's all we have to decide. If we want to have every time in my recollection that's coming to mind when we've had an issue put on the ballot, we have engaged in some kind of unified education campaign where we have said this is what we want to tell people, and we've tried to be unified and be careful what we don't tell people, that we don't over persuade, that we don't offer false information, any of that stuff. I think that it would make sense to treat this as we've treated other ballot initiatives and say we're going to educate And I think it makes sense to reach a unified conclusion about that. I don't know that that needs to be decided this morning. And I certainly think that staff might be in a position to present something to us that would help guide us through that, as they have done very faithfully in the past and very effectively in the past. So I don't know how much we want to get into what is everybody's take on how to present this before we've approved putting it on the ballot.
Brian, you're right.
Go ahead.
We can educate. We just can't, after we,
Advocate.
yeah, we just can't tell them how to vote. We just don't. This is basically what we're doing right now. Southwest does not have a contract with the city, okay? Southwest could call us Monday and say, you know that franchise fee we've been paying for years? We don't have a contract, so we're not paying it anymore. So, I mean, that's all this is doing.
Well, let's see.
I have one
Oh,
last
yes.
comment.
Go ahead, please.
I spent a very long time self-educating, digging, researching, trying to learn everything I can about this issue. And I was in cooperation with Alderman Ross, who saw areas that I was not pulling strings. I'd like to commend him for asking the right questions so that the decision could almost make itself.
Well, that I think I think I posed that perspective, and I think it's a worthwhile perspective, and I think Alderman Neal's comments are germane. That at this point we need to move forward with the motion.
Second reading.
Second.
This is
We have a motion to second read, Councilor.
This is bill number 2025-49, ordinance number 4071, an ordinance granting to Southwest Electric Cooperative, its successors and assigns, the right of providing an electrical utility system to serve the city of Bolivar, Missouri, and its inhabitants, and the right to construct, maintain, and operate a system of electrical facilities in, upon, across, along, and under the highways, streets, avenues, roads, alleys, lanes, ways, utility easements, parkways, and other public grounds of the city of Bolivar, Missouri.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Price.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Sagasser.
Aye.
She's not allowed to
Ashley,
vote
you're muted.
online,
Yes, she is.
She vote online?
but I don't think she's allowed to vote.
She is.
Yes.
But she's muted.
Really?
Present by
Means-
She's muted.
Ashley, you're muted.
Has she? In open session, yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, it took lots of time to get it unmuted there. Aye.
You.
Okay.
Neal.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
By a vote of 6 ayes and 0 noes, we have 7. That's right. 7 ayes and no nays. We have adopted Bill number 2025-49. I am entertaining a motion for the first reading of Bill number 2025-50.
First reading. Second. All
Councilor.
above.
This is bill number 2025-50, ordinance number 4072, an ordinance calling an election in the city of Bolivar, Missouri.
Comments, questions?
Second reading.
Second reading.
Seeing none,
I've
I'm
got one
entertaining a
question.
motion for the.
I've got one
Okay, we
question.
have a. we have
So
a
are you going to
question.
come up with the ballot language if this is...
Yes, sir, it's in the ordinance itself.
Okay.
I'm entertaining a motion for a second for the. Okay, Councilor.
This is bill number 2025-50, ordinance number 4072, an ordinance calling an election in the city of Bolivar, Missouri.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Price.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Sagasser.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
By a vote of 7 ayes and 0 noes, we have adopted Bill number 2025-50. I'm entertaining a motion for us to, for the Board of Aldermen to go into executive session.
I move we go into executive session pursuant to RSM 610.021, subparagraph 3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. And RSMO 610.021, subparagraph 13, individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment.
We have a second. I'm entertaining a motion for a second. We have a second. All in, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Wilson.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Sagister.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
By a vote of 7 ayes and 0 noes, we are now in the executive session.